on, everyone? It's Jacqueline here from Nothing But Tech. Hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're talking about the Google Pixel 3a, one of the best value smartphones of this entire year. And I can honestly say that I think it's going to be the best value smartphone, like #1 for this year. Hopefully I'm wrong and we get another really awesome phone, but that's kind of how I feel right now. This is just a really awesome value phone. The easy thing to do in this review would be to use the price as a benchmark for like everything, but I don't want to do that because I really want to show you that this phone stands alone at being an awesome phone, and then that price is like an added bonus for the most part. So let's dive into what I'm really loving about this phone and what could use a little improvement. There are certain areas obviously where price did come into play in making the specs a little bit less, or some other things that you're going to see throughout this video, but for the most part, this is a really solid phone regardless of the price. So the 3A, in terms of its build, it resembles its older brother with the thickish bezels on the front and the boxy but comfortable feel in the hand. It's a smaller and more narrow phone than most phones on the market right now, and that has been a pleasure in my pockets and in my hands. It's actually the first phone in a long time to make my hands look like normal size. I have like pretty average size hands, but like the OnePlus 7 Pro makes them look tiny, and a lot of phones really do that, or like the iPhone XS Max. But this phone makes them look regular, and it also fits really well in my pockets, which is something that I do not say that often. Girls' pockets, we've been over this, very small. Pixel 3a, fits very well. It's also like a plastic build, although Google is not really calling it plastic. That's what it's made out of. It actually feels pretty good in the hand. I actually really like it. You definitely notice a difference in the texture of it when you compare it to the Google Pixel 3 that has glass, and it actually feels a little bit more slippery and sleek. But I really like this, and it feels a little bit more grippy. The difference between the texture of the side rail and the back is also a really good way for me to be able to tell how I'm holding it, but also for me to be able to grip it a little bit better. I'm also a fan of this purplish color. It looks white in most lights, and then you move it a little bit and the light hits it exactly how Google wants it to, and all of a sudden you're like, yeah, that's purple. It would be really nice if it was like a much deeper purple in my opinion, but I'm gonna take this. This is a good second place. The good news continues with the front display. It's an OLED panel, and it's 5.6 inches diagonally on this model. It's a little bit of a lower resolution than we're used to with a 441 ppi, and I definitely noticed that when comparing it to other screens like the OnePlus 7 Pro, which has, in my opinion, the best screen on the market right now. But when I put away the spec sheet and my nitpicks, it was just a good screen. I'm able to watch videos on it. Also, the bezels make it really comfortable to use. Like, as we get more into this bezel-less phone, palm rejection becomes really important, and not all manufacturers are doing a great job with that, so Google doesn't really have to worry about that because they're rocking some pretty thick bezels. Doesn't flex any fancy refresh rates or have the best off-axis viewing angle, something that I have noticed in my day-to-day use, but it's pretty good for videos, texting, playing games, really anything that you want to do on your smartphone. You're not going to be like, damn, this display sucks. So the screen is good, but the camera, it's great. It's got arguably one of the top 3 cameras on the market. Some people would even say that this is the #1 camera on the market. And that's mainly because Google has excellent image processing and image computational skills. This model, I've noticed, is a little bit harsher to the blue tint than the Pixel 3, but that's easy to fix in post, and all the images that I take are sharp, contrasty, and the background blur knocks it out of the park most of the time. Also, low light images with night sight are pretty excellent. I'm in my room and I'm shutting off all the lights, and all of a sudden it looks like it was daylight. It blows me away every single time. So the camera on here is great. Video mode is not the best, and audio is not the best either, kind of something that we've seen come up with Pixels all the time. But if you're just really into photography, this would probably be the phone that I would recommend for you. The images take a little longer to process when compared to the Pixel 3 because it does the processing on that Snapdragon chip, and the Snapdragon chip, touching on that, is not the fastest. This phone is definitely packing some more mid-range specs than we're used to. So you're getting 4 GB of RAM and a lower end Snapdragon chip. But honestly, it does fine. Pixels are known for really aggressive RAM management, and that's here again. So I'll open up an app and then I'll close it, and a few minutes later, I open up a couple more apps, and then when I go back to the initial app, it has to reload. So that's kind of annoying, especially when we see phones with 8 GB of RAM or 12 GB of RAM. This feels like it's lacking in that category, but for normal use, like gaming and texting, it's totally fine. The only place where I really notice a difference in the specs is for scrolling. It's a little bit slower, and also the RAM management, but I feel like the Google Pixel 3 also is plagued with that issue. The thing that I'm more concerned about with this phone is longevity. We've been seeing with Pixels that they do not last a long time, like 10 months down the line, you're like, why is my phone so slow? So I'm kind of worried about that. Obviously, only time will tell with that. I've been using it for a little while and it still seems fine. So crossing my fingers that that holds true a year down the line, 2 years down the line, especially because of this guaranteed software updates for a couple years. So I'm hoping that it's able to manage those software updates. The actual storage on the phone is also a little bit slower than we're used to, so you will notice that apps take a little longer to refresh when you're comparing it to other phones. But again, when you're just using it, those things kind of fall away and you get used to it. Okay, so some final thoughts. It has inferior speaker placement when compared to the Pixel 3. And you're noticing that I'm doing a comparison with that a lot. And the main reason is that the Pixel 3 has not sold excellently. So this is kind of like Google's attempt to make a better phone that sells better. So I kind of just want to draw that parallel, because if you're interested in a Pixel, you've probably heard of the Pixel 3 as well. So speaker placement, not as good. However, it does sound pretty good when you're not covering it up. And it's still technically a stereo system. Screen on time is also pretty good with a 3,000 milliamp hour battery. And when you need to juice it up, it is 18-watt fast charging. I love to hear that. The phone supports many networks, which is also a plus, and it comes with the latest software and guaranteed updates, as already mentioned. Also, just like the Pixel 3, it's a really smart phone, so you got that smart Google Assistant features. It will tell you what song is playing before you even ask for it. It will accurately process photos, and eventually it will be able to answer the phone for me. That's sweet. The Pixel 3a rolls together a great software experience, an A-grade camera, and a comfortable build into a really promising and appealing package. And then there's the price. At $399, this phone is a steal. So what you lack in the most recent specs, you make up for in a great display, which you don't see on a lot of smartphones of this price, and you make up for it in having one of the best cameras on the market, which seems more and more important to consumers as time goes on. In a highly competitive market, Google has really broken through the clutter and offered a great option to consumers, and I'm here for it. That's it for the Pixel 3a review. If you liked it, I put a lot of time into it. Smash that like button, subscribe right here. You can also check out another video right here. And if you notice that the quality got a little bit better, I got a new camera, so I hope it looks better. I hope it was a worthy investment. So drop a comment below if you noticed. Stay tuned, because I have a lot of other content coming, including a day in the life video, because I know that that's been pretty highly requested. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Stay tuned for more, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.